That's an interesting question. Like where would I look for evidence? I used to get in these, well, we're all friends here. I can say this, right? I used to get in these pissing matches with the people at the Market Urbanist report or whatever. And they were like, Chuck, if you're right, show us the cities that have declared bankruptcy. Where are they? They don't exist. And, there was something like 80 or 90 governments that went through some type of financial restructuring in the last year. Most of those were like sewer districts and water districts and places that, had of that ilk. We every now and then have a big city or a county or a big government that goes through that. But I kept reiterating to them, and I think I will reiterate here as a way to think about this. I don't think that bankruptcy in like a business sense is what we're likely to see from governments that are failing. I think what we'll see, or what we are seeing, are a number of trends moving in the wrong direction. The first trend, well, let's walk through the life cycle, right? We go build the brand new suburb. Everything is brand new. We financed it through mortgages, commercial real estate loans. The local government has very little debt or kind of transactional debt. Tax rates are low and growth is great. And yay, it's a financial dream. Then the costs start to come to bear. And what we see happen in that, particularly that second life cycle, is that the tax rates start to climb. So in other words, we were a low tax place and now we're looking around going, well, their taxes are higher, we can bump ours up. The narrative about low taxes starts to go away and taxes start to climb up. Simultaneous with that, and sometimes preceding that, because we are sensitive to tax rates in these growing places like this, is that the debt starts to climb up. And I wrote an article, and I included this in my first book too, about the difference between cash flow debt and insolvency. In those early stages, we start to talk about debt as cash flow debt. We have this big maintenance problem coming up. We're going to finance that over a long period of time. But no, we're not insolvent. This is just cash flow. And we mistake the two. So you see that the debt starts to climb up. The kind of next step is that what you see is that the liabilities that are left untended to also starts to climb up. So we have a park that we're now not maintaining. Boy, we just don't have the money to maintain it. We have streets that, we should go out and fix this one this year, but we can put it off for a year or two. And all of a sudden that backlog starts to creep up and you're like, well, we got millions of dollars in the backlog now. And now we got tens of millions of dollars in the backlog. And those three things kind of just start to weigh on things because they all like grow and grow and grow over time. Then you reach the phase, and I think we could point to the most recent example is Jackson, Mississippi, of a place where you're no longer able to keep the ball in the air, so to speak. All three of those things limit the rising tax rates, the rising debt, and the accumulation of liabilities in a backlog of things that are unfunded and falling apart, limits your ability to respond to stress. And so what ultimately happens is that the pipe breaks and you can't fix it, or you're delayed in fixing it, or you can't mobilize what you need to go out and take care of it. And you have, days, weeks, months with water that's undrinkable. You see the same thing in sewer systems where we can't fix that pump. And so all of a sudden the sewage starts to back up and things start to go bad. This is like the critical end phase of this. And I think the thing about thinking of it as like evidence we can point to is a real touchy one, because we can look at Jackson, Mississippi, and if we allow ourselves to become part of the zeitgeist, part of the political conversation, you can hear all kinds of, I did a whole podcast on this, you can hear all the excuses for what has gone on in Jackson, and none of them have to do with our development pattern and its insolvency. You will hear, everything from this is all white flight and racism to this is all those people who don't know how to take care of things. And these are gross, yucky narratives that really do not get at the core of the development pattern. And so when you're looking for evidence, you're not going to find something where you're going to be able to draw those people out of the zeitgeist and say, see this, see. But I think that when we can talk to people and explain what's going on in these terms, it becomes quite obvious, and you actually kind of start to see it everywhere in North America in a way that you don't see in other parts of the world.